Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today I want to start the show by answering a question from a viewer. This viewer asked me what, in my opinion, are the top 5 3-inch barreled 357 Magnum revolvers. They actually asked me this during a live chat the other night, but I was like, wow, that's just too involved of a question for me to answer right off the top of my head. Turns out it wasn't because I thought of them right away. But they actually added a little caveat to that to make it a little more difficult. Because first I thought, well, I'll just get out my Smith & Wesson catalog and name them. Basically that's why I usually think about revolvers. But they added this caveat that all five of them, each one has to be from a different manufacturer. Can't have 2 guns from the same manufacturer on the list. That made it a little more difficult. I thought, well, this is going to be harder than I thought. Turns out, nope. Wasn't harder than I thought. Still made the list easy. So today I want to do the list of what I think are the top 5 3-inch barreled 357 Magnum revolvers if they all have to be from a different manufacturer. Now, before I get on with the list, I want to do an honorable mention here. A lot of people are going to ask me, why isn't the Colt 3-inch Mongoose on this list? Well, when you figure what is the best gun, I don't think you're figuring what is the finest made or most, precision revolver. You have to take other things into account like cost. Because are you getting what you pay for? Or does that law of diminishing returns kick in somewhere well before the end price tag? And as fine a gun as a Colt is, that's kind of the way Courts are. Whenever you're making a list of best, that price has to be taken into consideration. A $5,000 gun is out of the price range of most people. And is it really 5 times better than a $1,000 revolver? Not really. It's for people that are willing to pay more to have the best because they're really into that. They have to be really into revolvers to want one of these. Because otherwise, the extra function and the refined nature of the gun doesn't, justify the price for most people, considering it's not going to do you any more good in a self-defense situation than most Smith & Wessons or Rugers. So that's why it's not on the list, but it is probably one of the finest revolvers you can buy, so I did want to give it an honorable mention. All right, at number 5 is the Colt King Cobra. I don't think I have to tell you all a lot about the Colt King Cobra. Now, this is the new model. I've had new models. I've had old models of this gun. Still have new models of this gun. It is a great gun, especially for carry, especially the new model. This 3-inch model they make now is just geared towards carry. The way it's got the gutter sights instead of having an individual rear sight, it's just set up to be an easily carried gun. And it's a great size gun. Now, the reason it's not further up the list is it's only a 6-shot, whereas some guns in this list will be 7 shots. So at number 5 on the list is the Colt King Cobra, the new iteration of the gun, and it definitely deserves to be there as far as I'm concerned. All right, number 4 on the list is the Chiappa Rhino 30 DS. Now, I think everybody knows I love the Chiappa Rhino, so they're not surprised to see it on this list. Now, one thing people might be surprised is I didn't put the 30 DSX on the list instead of the DS, but there's really no reason for that extra weight of the DSX if you're going to carry, unless you're very recoil sensitive. That would be when you would need the 30 DSX. I think the 30 DS is going to be a better gun for 99% of the people if they plan on carrying it. Now, some people might be surprised that I didn't put the gun higher on the list, given that I like Chiappas so much, but it's still only 6 rounds. And if you're not recoil sensitive, it's probably not the best gun for you. It's not your best alternative. It's if you are recoil sensitive, you have damaged elbows, wrists, shoulders, etc. That's what pushes this gun up to probably number 1 on the list if you have those things going for you. But if you don't, if you're just healthy and strong with no injuries, there are guns I would put ahead of this mainly because of its capacity. If you, like I said, if you have got bad arthritis or you're recoil sensitive, it's probably number 1, but otherwise it deserves to be where it's at number 4 on this list. All right, at number 3, we have one that might surprise some people. It is the Kimber 3-inch K6S double action, single action. This is just an all-around great gun. I know a lot of people will remember that I was very upset with Kimber when they first came out with the first K6S, because I'm like, they teased it as going to be something new and revolutionary, and it was just another revolver with an internal hammer and no external hammer, double action only. And I was not thrilled. But when they released the double action, single action version, I was like, okay, now we're talking. And this gun is available in a 3-inch barreled version. And the gun itself is just so well made. Its finishes are really well made. The materials are awesome. It's solid stainless steel. It's got recessed cylinders. You know, they really just put some time and some effort into making this gun, designing it and making it, and it shows. It is an awesome carry gun. Now, it is only 6 rounds also, but unlike some of the other guns on this list that are 6 rounds, it's not as close to size as like a K or an L frame. It's more close to a J frame in size. Much like how the King Cobra is. It's actually, I think, maybe possibly smaller than the King Cobra. I'd have to measure them side by side to see, but it is a small gun for being as nicely made as it is and handling recoil like it does, because it does have a very nice grip on it, and that's why it's number 3 on this list. All right, number 2 on the list, we have the Ruger Talo Edition GP100 3-inch 357 Magnum revolver. Now, this is just an awesome gun, and I will admit, though, I almost didn't put this one on the list. I almost went with the Red Hawk 8-shot 357 Magnum on the list here, but since the barrel is only 2 3/4 inches and not 3 inches, it didn't qualify. But that's fine, because this gun is awesome. And not only is it awesome, not only is it Ruger tough and just really well put together and just has a nice finish on it and a nice shape to it, but it has really nice grips that it comes with. It also has an unfluted cylinder, which just looks awesome. It's got a fiber optic front sight. This is a great gun for carry. If you're looking for a 3-inch 357 Magnum carry gun, this is the one for you if you like Rugers. And it is a 7-shot, which puts it a little bit up the list higher than some of the other guns, because they only gave you 6. This gives you 7. So if you carry a couple of reloads with you, you have 21 instead of 18. And 21 is what you're going for. In blackjack and in revolvers, as far as I'm concerned. So at number 2 on the list is the Talo Edition GP100 from Ruger, and it would be an awesome choice for anybody. All right, at number 1, we have the 586 L Comp from Smith & Wesson. Now, my choice of this gun might be very surprising or not surprising at all, depending on how you look at it. It's not surprising at all that it's a Smith & Wesson, but it might surprise some people that it's not the 686 Plus instead of the 586 L Comp. It's just that when it comes to carry, I just like that 586 L Comp with that compensated barrel just a tiny bit more than I do my 686. And I have some beautiful 3-inch 686s. The unfluted cylinder ones, etc. But the 586, I think, is just the perfect 3-inch 357 Magnum carry gun. That dark finish is so pretty. I mean, I love a blued gun and a black gun better than I do stainless. Stainless just wears better and carries better. But that black finish is just awesome. And plus, I think people like black finishes on guns more than they do stainless finishes if they really have a choice. So I know I like it better. And 7 shots, 7-shot gun, lots of aftermarket grips available for it, lots of aftermarket sights available for it. I like the big dot front sight on it with a fixed rear sight, but just an awesome gun. I easily think it's the best of the 3-inch 357 Magnum revolvers. If they all have to be of different manufacturers, the 686 doesn't get to be on the list simply because I think this one's a little better from Smith & Wesson. So it is taking the number 1 position on this list. All right, now that we've looked at all those guns, I want to talk about one of them a little bit more here. I want to talk about the Chiappa Rhino. I've had some people ask me recently, hey, aren't the Chiappa Rhinos dangerous? Can't you blow your thumb off shooting them because of the way they're designed with the barrel on the bottom? And to those people, I say, well, you know, any gun is dangerous if you misuse it enough or you use it wrong enough, I guess. You know, always point the end with a hole in it away from you. But I am not going to sit here and say the Chiappa Rhino doesn't come with some challenges. It does. It comes with a little bit more that you have to keep in your head when you decide how to properly grip the gun. And that was the second part of their question. How do you properly grip it to keep yourself from getting your fingertips blown off? Well, I did a video not too long ago where I showed people how to properly grip the gun. So I wanted to show that again here. And bear through the video here, because at the end, there's also not only how do you grip the gun, but how do you not go about filming a video on how to grip it. Hey, I want to make a very quick, very specific video here today for my viewers. Over the years, a lot of people have asked me how to properly grip a Chiappa Rhino. They know I love my Chiappa Rhino. And today I got an email from someone who sent me a picture of their damaged thumb. Thanks a lot for that, by the way, where they shot their Chiappa Rhino with an improper grip, most likely a thumbs forward grip. So today I thought I'd take a real quick minute here and show you how to properly grip a Chiappa. When you grip a Chiappa, you definitely cannot do a thumbs forward grip, because all of the explosive energy comes from right here, the bottom part of the cylinder. And that little channel down there channels it right into your thumb. If you're doing a thumbs forward grip, it can actually blow off the end of your thumb. I've seen it happen. So when you're gripping the Chiappa, make sure that instead of putting this thumb forward like you would on a semi-automatic gun, you tuck it all the way down. Then when you put your other hand on like you were going to do a thumbs forward grip, instead of putting it forward, you put it on top of your other thumb. It should come right into that little ledge right there on the gun. Once you do that, you've got a proper grip on your Chiappa. You can actually fire your gun. You don't have to worry about blowing your thumbs off. So that is how you grip a Chiappa Rhino. Hey, today I want to make a very specific... Why am I holding it like fucking Charlie's Angels? Where they severely burnt the image into... Don't hold it like fucking Charlie. When you grip a Chiappa Rhino, you cannot use a thumbs forward grip. Why can't I fucking talk? A lot of people have asked me in the past how to properly grip a Chiappa Rhino. All right, now that you've seen that, let's move on and close the show as usual with our viewer EDC of the day. And today we have Daniel D. And Daniel is carrying a substantial gun here. He's carrying his Ruger Red Hawk 8-shot 357 Magnum revolver, the one that I almost put on the list earlier in this video. And he is carrying that gun in an Azula outside the waistband leather holster. Azula makes great holsters. I always recommend them to anybody who's looking for a quick holster because you can get them off Amazon in like 2 days. So good choice of holsters there. Now, like I said, this is a big, heavy gun, but he said it carries very well. And I believe him, because this gun's about 2 3/4 pounds, which is about the same weight as my all-steel Chiappa 30 DSX. And I have found that it carries very easily. So he gets 8 shots with this. With my Chiappa, I only get 6 shots for the same weight. So that's why I say sometimes there's better options over Chiappa if you're not recoil sensitive. And you can stand to carry a heavy gun. Because like I said, nice Ruger gun, good looking gun, 8 shots of 357 Magnum. This is a man's gun, although it is surprising that he's carrying a man's gun based on those designer pants he's wearing there. This looks like he took this picture on his way to compete in the gay rodeo. So I don't really know what's going on there. But, you know, there's like diapers and kid wipes or formula or something in the background. So I'm like, who had the baby? I find it hard to believe that some poor woman let someone that wears these pants actually reproduce. But the generosity of women never ceases to amaze me. But like I said, I wanted to show this today, Daniel D, because he is carrying, like I said, a man's gun. This is a freaking awesome gun. Like I said, almost made the list earlier. If the barrel just been a 1/4 inch longer, what we could have done with a 1/4 inch, well, what we could all do with a little bit longer barrel, you know how it goes. But wanted to show him today because he's carrying such an awesome gun in a good holster, that Ruger Red Hawk 8-shot 357 Magnum in an Azula holster. That's our viewer EDC of the day, Daniel D. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. Thanks for coming, and I hope I see you again tomorrow. Until then, I'll just sign off as usual by saying, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, and there are some challenges out there today, we've got some fights coming, but you know what? I think we can all agree it ain't so bad out there today. In fact, it's awesome in some ways. But what things will be in the future, if we continue to keep level heads about us and ignore the profiteers and the fearmongers that want to manipulate us, what things will be in the future, especially for the freedom-loving gun community, is better.